Next up, let's take a look at the Songmaker Remix assignment. The directions for this assignment say use Songmaker in Chrome Music Lab to remix one of the songs linked below. To share with others or continue working on the song later, remember to click save and copy/paste the link somewhere to keep. Once you have finished and are ready to turn this in, save your song, copy the link, and paste it into this assignment. So, what are the things that you can do to remix a song? You need to choose at least 3 of the following options when remixing your song. Number 1, add or subtract notes from Chrome Music Lab Songmaker. Number 2, create chords and harmonies. Number 3, add percussion. Number 4, change the voices. Number 5, change the tempo. Number 6, extend the melody. Or number 7, change the length or scale in the settings. And we will explain how to complete all of these different things. Be aware, if you change the beats per measure or split beats into in settings, you may erase a portion of your melody, but there is always the undo button. And then it gives you multiple different songs that you can choose from. To remix, you are choosing one of these songs below to remix. We have Megalovania, the Stranger Things theme song, the Coffin Dance off of YouTube, Blinding Lights, Old Town Road, Bad Guy, Star Wars main theme song, Für Elise by Beethoven, We Will Rock You, Hey Hey What from TikTok, a mystery song, The Wellerman, Prelude, Bach Cello Suite Number 1. So this is a classical piece if you don't know it, and The Entertainer by Scott Joplin. So you're choosing one of these. If you want to begin by clicking on the different links and listening to them and seeing which one you like the best and want to remix, feel free to do that. Let's go ahead and just use Megalovania as my example one. Now let's take a look at the different options for remixing it. Number 1, we can add or subtract notes. So for example, if I go over to the beginning of this song, I can remove some of these notes. And maybe I want to add in a couple different ones as well. That alone is going to start to remix the song. Another thing you could do is just continue adding notes into the blank spaces. So that way it still has the main theme of Megalovania, but it has a little different twist on it. And you can mess around with that on your own. So that is option number 1, add or subtract notes. The second option is creating chords or harmonies. When you create a chord in Songmaker, that's where you play more than one note at a time. So for example, if I were to start stacking these notes up top, like so, I would be creating chords in this song. I will tell you that to create a successful chord in a song, you do not want to simply stack one on top of the other like so. Because when you do this, it is not going to sound good. And we are trying to create a good remix, not a bad remix. Even if you say, oh, but Ms. Parkinson, I really want to do it this way. I will tell you that you can do it this way after you finish the assignment, but having these notes all together right here is not going to sound good. So if you want to do that on your own time, feel free to do so, but not for this assignment if you choose to do chords, okay? You want to have space in between the notes. I promise it will sound so much better. The other way to do this is by creating a harmony. When you create a harmony in a song, you're simply adding one extra note to each part. So, for example, maybe I want to have a pink go along with this orange, then a blue, then this. This is creating a harmony against the notes. Sometimes it'll sound good, sometimes it'll sound bad. Actually, a really easy way to add in a harmony that sounds good is to simply double up the notes below or above. So, for example, this right here is a dark green. If I come and find a dark green and I just simply play that way and then put a light green above that as well, then do an orange above that. This will create a very nice sounding harmony in the song. So that's another way. That's option 2 for creating chords and harmonies. The next one is adding percussion. If you have not figured out yet how to create percussion into a song in Songmaker, it's simply using these dots below. And I suggest finding some kind of pattern for the percussion. Maybe it's going 2 circles and then a triangle with a blank space, and then continuing that pattern. If you're adding a pattern to your drums, that is how music works. Drum parts often are simply a pattern that repeats itself over and over again. And you can get it to be a longer pattern than just this if you want to. For example, maybe you want it to be a circle, space, circle, space, circle, space, triangle, triangle, triangle. Then you repeat circle, space, circle, space, circle, space, triangle, triangle, triangle. So, really mess around. If you choose to add in percussion, really mess around with what is going to sound good as a pattern that repeats itself with your song. The next option is changing the voices. Remember, when you're changing voices, it's simply changing the instruments. So, for example, in the Megalovania song, it's currently the voicing is a synthesizer. If I change this to a marimba, it is going to sound a little bit different. So, that is another way to remix it by changing the voice. Another way is to change the tempo. If you haven't figured out yet to change the tempo, it's down here. You simply slide it to be faster on the right or slide it to the left to be slower. Your option is to extend the melody. The way that you extend the melody is by going to Settings. Then there is an option to change the length here. If you add length to this, just hitting the plus button, then the check, and you scroll over to the right, you will see the melody extended here. And you can keep going with this blank. You can add in, maybe you want to reverse it with the notes or something else. Another option is to change the length or scale in the settings, which is something that I just did. I changed the length, and you could add in a different song in this length, or you can also actually go to settings and change the scale. Right now, the scale is at a chromatic. If we change it to maybe like a major, it's going to drastically change the song. Now, at the very bottom, it does say, be aware if you change the beats per measure or split beats into. So what that means is if you go to settings and you choose split beats into 1 and hit the check mark, your song is going to be pretty much gone. Okay? Now, you don't want to do this. You don't want to lose the song. So that's what this undo button is for. If I click on it, it fixes it. Okay? Also, beats per measure. If I go to settings, change the beats per measure, or bar it says here, but it's the same thing. If I change this to maybe 2, again, it's going to get rid of my song. You do not want that. So again, just hit that undo button to get it back. So you have to choose 3 of these things to remix the song. Make it how you want it to sound as well. Then once you're done, you hit the save button. You hit copy link. Once this highlights, that will mean that your link is copied. Then you'll come over to this assignment and you'll paste it in. Again, pasting in is where you take 2 fingers on your trackpad, click, and then there will be a button to say print or paste. And then you can turn it in. I suggest clicking on that link after you have turned it in to make sure it works. And if it doesn't work, then you need to fix it. If you have any questions about this, feel free to message me or ask the teacher or anything like that.